Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and yeah, great to be with you again with a fascinating puzzle by Rockrat0, who's featured a few times on the channel, but not as many times as he's sent us fantastic puzzles. So we'll try and balance that up a bit. He has often experimented with Japanese pencil puzzle rules before, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. I don't think the rules are too complicated, although they're nothing I've seen before. So there is that to come. Now, on Patreon, I think very soon, Simon is going to be posting an attempt at a puzzle by Fistamafel, no less. That is my understanding. I hope it's not wrong, and that's going to be really interesting to see. Do check it out. There's always some great extra content on Patreon, videos, solution videos, all sorts of things. And we'll have to work out when things are coming up on there. Haven't posted my crossword video this month either, so that'll be coming later in the month as well. Of course, there's Simon's crossword video on the main channel today, along with all of our past videos. We do 2 every day looking at Sudoku, and of course there's all our apps you can find in the description field. They include Killer Sudoku, amongst others, and Domino Sudoku. Very good value for money, as is joining Patreon, as is our merchandise, to be honest. How can you not want to have a Cracking the Cryptic mug, cap or hoodie? And Sven's Sudoku pad, similar. Anyway, let's have a look at the rules of this puzzle, which is the first link in the description field. And they are as follows. Normal Sudoku, oops, the person who hates having my alerts come up will have noticed I hadn't quite switched off my email by then. Anyway, normal Sudoku rules apply 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Shimaguni rules apply. If you know what Shimaguni is, hats off to you. I don't. So luckily Rockrat0 explains what they are. We have to shade an orthogonally connected group of cells within each dashed cage. So somewhere in this cage there is an orthogonally connected group of cells that we're going to shade. Two shaded cells may not share a cage border, so we can't make both of those shaded cells. No 2 orthogonally touching cages, like this one and this one, may contain the same number of shaded cells. Ooh, I'm going to need a reminder for that, I imagine. Circles are unshaded and contain the number of shaded cells in their cage. So if this had a 2-cell shaded area, that would be a 2. Small values in the top left of cages, if given, so the 16 here, sum the digits in shaded cells in the cage. So the circles are counting the shaded cells and the numbers are summing them. Digits may not repeat in shaded cells in the cage, but there's no restriction on unshaded cells. So in this cage, you could have 3 of the same number as long as they weren't shaded. That's a very weird rule, and that is probably going to need a reminder for my brain. And what it's saying, I think, is that in this puzzle, all the rules apply to shaded cells, whether it's the counts in circles, the numbers in the corners, or even this rule about no 2 shaded cells across 2 boxes. And indeed, the counts have to be different. Wow. Okay. Finally, digits in cells joined by a black dot, i.e. those 2, are in a 2-to-1 ratio. What an intriguing idea. I've not seen anything like this before, but I'm going to have a go at it nonetheless. Could be a very long video, or maybe not, but you can look at the video length. I can't, because it's in my future. Let's get cracking. Okay, well, I can choose a non-shading colour. Let's go with green for not shaded, and I'll do purple for the shaded cells. And we were given a rule that the circles are unshaded. So this is where to start, this 3-cell cage. What can that be? And the answer is, it's counting the number of shaded cells in its cage. There's only 2 left, so that's 1 or 2. I think we know that it can't be 2, because then the shaded cells would have to add up to 3, and they would have to be 2 and 1, and we'd have 2 2s in the cage. So that's a 1. and one of these is a 3 and is shaded. And then we bring in the rule that you can't have, yes, well, we need two rules. One is that the orthogonally shaded area in this cage adds up to 13, doesn't include that cell, so it must go through this one, but much more than that, and very helpful now, it must include one of these two cells. And they both touch this cell, so that cannot be shaded and is not the 3. That is the shaded cell in its box and is a 3 in the corner. In the first minute and a half of the puzzle, we find a 3 in the corner, losing its religion all over the place. And now, well, we've got a barrier here between cages, so we can shade that one green. This cage doesn't have a number in. Oh, but this cell, just by sudoku, there are a maximum of 4. No, we can do this one. This has to be a 2 because we've had a 3 in the box. Let's do that. And then 2 of these cells are connected and both purple and add up to 13. This digit is going to have to be a 4 now because there's a maximum of 4 cells to shade in this pentomino cage. So that is a 4. We've used 1, 2, 3 in the box. And that is actually, once you just learn the rules, that's quite a friendly start. Now, I mean, this is massive. Getting those as purple, everything they touch through a cage border goes green. I mean, that is literally alchemy, or alchemy as practiced in Blackadder, where Percy creates green, my lord, when he was trying to make gold. Right, the only shaded cell possible in the 9 cage is there, and is a 9. The 13 cage needed a second shaded cell, purple. That makes that one green. We're away. This is either a 5-8 or a 6-7 pair, adding up to 13. 9 is in one of those two cells in box 1. That purple sees these two through the windows and makes them green. The 15 cage here, now here's where we remember that the purple cells in a cage have to be orthogonally connected. So this is going to have to be a 2 because it's either 15 in 2 cells there or in 2 cells there. I don't know the answer, but I do know that that's a 2 in the circle because it's counting those. What's this? I want to write a 2 in, but I can't. It sees 1, 3, and 4. How many cells are we counting to make a total of 16 here? Well, it's just possible it's 5, because that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That would actually be a 2, 6 pair then. So 2 ends up having to be in one of those cells, and in one of these two, and I don't know if that, I don't think Sudoku is going to do much for us in this puzzle. It's all about the colouring and shading. This cage is an interesting shape. It's got a 19 total for the cage, which is at least 3 cells. 9 and 8 only add to 17. So 19 is at least 3 cells, and that means this circle is 3, 4, or 5. We couldn't extend beyond 5 cells. So that's 3, 4, or 5, and those 3 must include, 3 minimum, must include that cell in the corner. The 12 in this box, now that's even more interesting. That's got to be, we don't get a circle in the box, but we know the total of the shaded cells is 12. Well, that has to be at least 2 cells, and they must run through this one. So that's purple, looks through the window at a green cell. This, by the way, has to be green, I've just worked out, because the purples are all contiguous here. That is now purple, because we need a stretch of 3, at least. Could be 4 now. That can't be 5 anymore. This is part of a 12 total. But it could be 3 cells. Its whole area has been isolated, so I might not get much more information from that for a while. 8 in this box. And what's the black dot doing? Oh, that's a window onto a purple, so that goes green. Yes, I should have explained more about Percy the alchemist in Blackadder. He's working away, trying like a true alchemist to make gold. But instead, all he manages to manufacture is green. And he has a big lump of green, which I can't remember if they managed to make it valuable or not. I don't think they do. Anyway, we've got either a 9-6 or an 8-7 pair in this 15 cage. Oh, okay, here's the rule I forgot. No two orthogonally touching cages may contain the same number of shaded cells. That's going to fix this, isn't it? Because that's a 2 shaded cells cage, touching a 1, touching a 4, touching a 1, but here, not touching a 2. So that's 3. Those 3 cells add up to 12. And now this isn't a 3-cell cage because it's touching that. So it's a 4 shaded cells cage, and that digit becomes a 4. And these 4 add up to 19. These go green through the windows. Now, we've got to get to 8 here, but that could just be 1 cell. Oh, this 11 total. Well, it's more than 1 cell, so it's got to go through this cell. That's weird. That's just the shape of the cage insists that that is a shaded cell. What about these 7s? I mean, there's a lot of scope. Oh, and 27. Okay, 27 is a huge number. That is at least 4 cells shaded. Well, given the shape of the cage, that's got to include the middle 3. Right, so then we colour green around those into the other cages. And now, okay, I've got it. If this was purple in the 27 cage, that would be purple in the 11 cage because the 11 cage would need to expand. And remember, purple can't touch purple across a cage border. And now, with those 2 that I've got highlighted purple, you couldn't fit a purple pair in here without touching another purple. I hope that makes sense. It is weird language that we use when we get into these colours. But I think that proves this can't be purple, so this is. Those add up to 27 and can't repeat. One of the few places in a cage where digits occur and can't repeat. That's now green. 8, well, it could be the single cell here, so I can't colour these, which means I can't colour this. Okay, 7. Right. Okay, I'm going to colour these 2 purple in a moment. See if you can work out why. So what I'm thinking is that obviously in each of these cages, 7 is either made up with 1 or 2 digits because there are only 2 left in each cage to potentially colour. If 7 was a 2 in both cages, 7 can't be a 1-digit colouring in both cages because they would both be the number 7 and that would clash. So at least one of these is a 2-cell 7, and whichever one is a 2-cell 7 is going to force a green cell in the nearby bit, and then the extreme cell is going to have to be purple. So if that's a 2-cell 7, this is purple. And if this is a 2-cell 7, the same cell is purple. And the same goes for this place. So that's purple. That's now green through the window. One of these 2 is a 7, is the singleton. And one of these pairs makes up a 7 pair. That one or that one. What next? Still don't know where the 15 is. I thought that was going to be an easy deduction. Now, 9 in this. Now, let's not forget that crazy rule about, yeah, that I might have used that here, that those couldn't be both 2s. Now, this 11 could be a 3, but then the 15 can't be. I wonder if, right, the 15 cage does touch the 11 cage. And I don't know where the 15 cage gets its shading, but I do know it's got 2 cells shaded, even from the circle. So this 11 cage does not have 2 circled, so it has at least 3 circled, but it could actually be 4. Okay, it's got at least 3 circled, and that means that at least one of these 2 is circled. Is purple. Why does circle nearly rhyme with purple? Nothing rhymes with purple, you know that. Except purple. Anyway, one of those is purple, maybe both, because of the 3 count that we now need in this 11 cage. And that means this cell is not purple. And that tells us where the purple pair is in the 15 cage. It's here, and it adds up to 15. And that's green through the window. Now the 8 is going to be made up by a single cell, because it has to be an orthogonally connected single cell or group. So one of those is an 8. Come on, do some more. I don't think it does anymore. This is either 2 or 3 cells adding up to 13, and this one is 1. We now know that. I've just worked that out. And we've got, let's remember that funky rule. We've got a 1 cell cage touching a 2 cell cage, a 4 cell sum, a 4 cell sum over there, 2 and 1 in some order. This one can't be 2. It is 3 or 4. If it was a 3 cell cage, that would be a 2, and we would have 2 here. Now, can this be the 2 cell number adding to 7? It's difficult. Ooh, is it too difficult? Okay, so what would happen is, if this is purple, this is a 2 cell sum adding to 7. And it has to be 2, 5, because we've got a 1 and a 4 used in the row. So this can't be 1, 6 or 4, 3. Now, if that's 2, 5, oh, I'll tell you why this is impossible, actually. It's much simpler. If this was purple, that would be green. This would be a 2 cell cage, and it would be touching a 2 cell cage. There we go. So that's green, that's purple. This is a 7, and that's not. This is a 7 pair, and actually 4, 3 and 1, 6 are the ones that it can be now. It can't be 2, 5, because that would break this corner cell. So it's either 1, 6 or 3, 4. Now we've got a 1 cell cage here, and that's fine. That's touching a 2, and neither of these can be a 1 cell cage. What about this 8 cage? Oh, the 15 is going to have to run through a purple cell there. If it is 3 cells big, then I wonder if there's a Sudoku argument how that can't work in this column. No, maybe not. Now, if this was a 5, all of these would be purple. This would have to be a 1 cell 9. This would have to be a 1 cell 8. That would have to be a 2 cell 15. And this would be a 3 cell 11. I mean, we'd basically get to fill in everything colour-wise immediately. But I couldn't see how that broke. If that, I might as well try it the other way. If that was a 2, well then this would be a 2 cell cage. Now I was going to say then the 8 couldn't be a 2 cell cage and would have to be a 1 cell cage, but could the 8 possibly be a 3 cell cage holding 1, 3 and 4 in it? Oh, here's a neater thought. This is nice. This is going to get us somewhere. Right. If this cell in the corner is a 5, all of those are purple, and the only place that can have a purple cell in the 8 cage is there. Now, alternatively, this is a 2. And there are 2 cells shaded here. Now the 8 cage can't have 2 shaded cells. Oh, I thought I had proved to myself that that was always going to be purple. Oh, maybe I haven't. Sorry, I missed a trick there. What I can see, oh look, right, the 9 cage is touching the 15 cage, which is a 2-cell cage. So this 9 cage is either a 3, in which case that's a 2. I don't think this would work actually, because what would these 3 digits be? Yeah, if the 9-cell cage was made up of 3 digits that counted towards the 9, 2 of those would have to be from 1, 2, 3. That's how it works. If you're making up 3 digits to 9, you've either got 1, 2, 6, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 3, 5. 2 of them are from 1, 2, 3. And since neither of these top 2 can be from 1, 2, or 3, we've got 2 confined into one of those cells, 1 and 3 over there, then 3 is not the right number here. It can't be a 2-cell cage because it's touching a 2-cell cage. Therefore, it's a 1-cell cage with a 9 in it. And annoyingly, that doesn't actually solve any of the rest of the puzzle. Oh, I had 9 confined to one of those cells. So the purple cell is up here somewhere. That's green. Now this could still be the 5-cell 16 cage, which is so unlikely. If it's a 2-cell cage, it has to be 9 and 7. And the 9, we've got 9s confined there and there. The 9 would have to be here. So the 7 would have to be here. These would be the purple cells in a 2-cell cage. So that can never be purple now. If this is a 2, those are the purple cells. If this is a 5, all of those are purple. So these 2 are definitely always purple. Now, they see that cell. More importantly, they see this cell through the window. So that goes green. This had to be a 3-cell cage because it's not allowed to be 2. Now it's not allowed to be 4. It's a 3-cell cage. It's touching this cage, which must be a 2-cell cage. That's touching this cage, which now has to be a 1-cell cage with an 8 in one of these cells. And that means the 2 cells that add up to 15 in this cage are 6 and 9, and this one can't be a 9. So that's a 6 with a 9 on one side or the other. Now we get to do some sudoku before we finish the colouring. We can't have 6 and 1 here, so that's a 3-4 pair. We've got a 6-9 pair here. Excuse me one moment. Sorry about that. Hope I remembered to cut it out. Now, we've got a 9 in one of these cells. Now, what happens? Oh, I don't think we can have a 1 in one of these 2, because these that add up to 27, they all have to be different. So the minimum digit you can have in there is a 3, 9, 8, 7, 3. So 1 in this box is in one of those 2. I don't think that's going to... I'll tell you what it is going to do. This 11 cage needs a 1 in as well. An 11 made up of 3 different cells either has a 1 or a 2 in, or both, but this one can't have a 2 in. So there's definitely a 1 in the cage. And there can't be a 2 or a 6. I think there's only one way to make it up now. I think it has to be a 137 cage. Shout at me if I'm wrong. No, I'm sure that's right. It's a 137 cage. It's odd that I can't complete this, or can I? 2 must be in one of these 2 cells. I don't think it's going to help anything. But again, 2 can't be in this 27 count. So 2's in one of those 2. Now we've got 3, 4 there, 6 and a 9 in one of those. One of these is 8. It's so strange I can't get this number in the corner. One of these is a 9. Oh, and there's a 9 here. There's a 9 in one of these 3 cells by sudoku. Not in the final column because of the 9 in one of those 2. So one of these is a 9. Now if that's a 9, clearly this isn't... Oh, if that is a 5, this is definitely 6. That's definitely 2. This is a 1, 4, 3 triple. Something must break here. But I cannot see how it does. And let's have a look at this, the black dot. it doesn't have a 1 on it. So it's 2, 4, 4, 8 or 3, 6. I don't know what to do with that. I can't find a way. Oh, there's definitely a 2 in one of those cells by sudoku now, given these circled 2s. So this 12 cage uses a 2 and 2 digits that add up to 10, which can't be 9, 1 or 2, 8. They're either 3 here, 2 there, 7 here, or they're 2, 4, 6. It's really annoying because it sort of feels like that is determined somehow, but I can't work it out. This group adds up to 19, which is a very middly number for 4 digits. Now this one that adds up to 27 has to have a 9 in. Does it have to have an 8 in? I don't think so. I think it can be 9765. It's nearly done, but it's not quite. We don't know what that lot adds up to. This pair... Where am I meant to go for the info to finish, to get a handle on the numbers and finish off the colours? There must be something going on. I'm missing it, aren't I? 3, 4 there. 6. Now, if I knew that was a 6, 9 pair, I'd be in business. If that's a 7, 8 pair, that's a 7. And these would have to be 2, 4, 6 with a 4 there. Oh, goodness, I can't see it. There must be a way to just get this done. 3, 1, 5. It's so weird that it's holding out at this point. This feels like a long way into the puzzle. 3, 4 there. 3's in one of these cells. Is there a problem with that being 9, 7? Ooh, nearly actually. Very nearly. Because then, yeah, okay, if this is 9, 7 because of a 2 in the corner, then 9 and 7 are both of these cells. Now that keeps 7 out of these 2 and puts it there. And that keeps it out of these 2. And this would need a 7 in it because it couldn't have a 6 anymore. Oh, this is a slightly complicated chain, but let's just work on this. If that was 9, 7 because of a 2 in the corner, then this has to be a 9, 7 pair, which keeps 7 out of there. That puts 7 here, makes this a 6, 9 pair. This now doesn't have a 6 in and needs to be 2, 3, 7. And maybe that does work. Okay, we're really going to get a huge leap forward when we know one more thing about the colouring in this puzzle, whatever it is almost. And I exaggerate very slightly for effect there. 3 and 4 have to be fitted into this box and not in these cells. Now, can they both go here? If they did, that would be a 4. Is there a problem with that? I can't see it. Something's got a crack here. Probably my brain. It's weird. There's something going on in this puzzle. There's definitely a 4 in one of these 3 cells. So if that's 2, 3, 7, that's a 4. Oh, I don't know where to turn. There's so many possible places. You're probably screaming something at the screen. Oh, have I forgotten the rule? The rule about touching box sizes. I have. Look at this little connection. It's huge. It's been sitting there the whole time. That's what you're shouting. These 2 cages touch each other. And that's a 2-cell cage. So this one isn't. Oh my goodness, so this is a 5-cell cage. It's been just sitting there mocking me. So that's not purple. It's not 8 either. It's green. That is purple and is 8. This is not purple and is green. This is purple and is 9. This, I mean, this is just going to flow through. We're going to suddenly be done. I honestly think that. I may be mad, but that's what I honestly think. Those can't be a 7. That's a 7. These can't have a 7 in, so they are 2, 4, 6. That must be the 4. This is a 2, 6 pair. I mean, honestly, this is just opening up like something that opens up very smoothly and quickly, like a present on Christmas Day. That's purple and is a 9. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So we place 9 there. We've placed 2 in the box. These others, well, that's a 6. This is a 1, 3, 4 set. We get a 7 here. Let's see how quick we can do the Sudoku in this puzzle. 1 there, 2 there, not there. That is now not 8, 5. It's 6, 7. 3, 1, 4, 6, 7, 2. This is 5, 8, 9. 6, 7, 2, 9, 8. These are from 1, 3, 4, 5. Now, I have to be careful about not using the cages as much as I normally do, because greens can have repeat digits in the cages. It's purples that can't. There's a 1, 3, 4 triple. 2, 7, 1, 3, 4. That's 5 or 8. These are from 5, 6, 8, 9. 2, 1, 7. Oh, that's become a 3 in the box. There we go. Now, in the central row, 3, 5, 8 still to place. Not very helpful, actually, as it turned out. That 5, 8 pair makes this a 4. That does finish off the single digits in row 6. That 5 sees that cell, so it turned out that 3, 5, 8 was better. This is a 4, 6, 9 triple. We can't have 9 in the middle. 2, 1. These are from 3, 5, 8, 7. That can't be that can be a 3, but that one can't be. That's a sort of 6 X-wing that does apply. Oh, actually, let's see if anything's forced into this. 1 is. 1 is now forced into this cage. And it's a 19 sum. That's good. Is 2 forced into it? Not quite. 2 could end up there in the box. Now, 2's not allowed to be here. Oh, that nearly puts 2... Oh, the black dot can't be 3, 6 now. So it's either 2, 4 or 4, 8. That one can't be an 8, we've discovered. There's definitely a 4 on it, and that's not 4. It doesn't matter what these add up to, but they can't repeat. Worth knowing, maybe. That's a 7, 8 pair at the top, and now that's a 7, 8 pair in column... in column 4. So this can't be an 8, and that decides the last of the colouring, because we needed a purple 8 down here. There it is. That's green, colouring over. I'm not going to remove it because it's done its job, because it's fine. It's just helping me understand the puzzle now. No, I'm certainly not removing the colouring, because we still have to sum up things like 27 in this cage. 1, 8, 2, 4. We need a 5 in the box in one of those positions. That 8, what's that doing? It's taking 8 out of that cell. This cage, now to make 27, there's probably 3 ways. 9, 8, 7, 3, which would have to go in this order, 9, 8, 7, 3. 9, 8, 6, 4, which would need the 4 here. Or 9, 7, 6, 5, which would need the 7 here. So this is either 4 or 7, because there's got to be one of those in the cage. Oh, and there's a 2, 4 pair in the box. That is a 7. We can't have a 4 in the cage, so that's a 7. Now there's still 2 ways to make up the cage. 9, 8, 7, 3, which would put 3 here. Or 9, 7, 6, 5. Am I right? Yes. 9, 7, 6, 5. So this could also be 9 or 6. That is annoying. 8, 8, 8, 9. Okay, central column. I don't know. Okay. How did that not get resolved? 3, yeah, 3 is still possible. 3, 7, 8, 9. Then that would be 5 or 6. 6 definitely appears in one of these 3 cells in this column, and so does 9. Look at that. We've got a 6, 9 pair there and a 6, 9 there pair there, which is nice. So 6 and 9 are both in those cells. All of those cells see this one, that one in the row, and these ones in the same cage where it matters. So that can't be 6 or 9. That's beautiful deduction, by the way. That's a 3. This is now a 9, 8 pair to make this add up, and we can fill them in. Right, I think that is probably the last big thing we need to do. 5, 6, 8, 5. We take 5 out of those cells. We've got a 9 or a 5 here by Sudoku, 8 or 5 here. That seems to be a pair in the column. That 5, 8 pair says that's not an 8. We've got 3, 7 and 6 to place in the column. Might be able to do this thing now. No, hang on, let's do 1, 5 as a pair here first. 9, 2, 7, 1, 8. This is 5 or 6. I don't know whether to do Sudoku or do complicated adding up of cages, by which I mean this one. It doesn't have an 8 in it. Does it need a 9 in it? No, because it could be 7, 6. It's got a 1 in it. It could be 7, 6, 5, 1. 8, 9, 3, 2. Okay, how about if I allege that it can't have a 2 in it? 1, 2, 7, 9. 9, 1, 2, 7. No, that allegation doesn't work. Okay, but I'm still going to use that, actually, and it's going to be helpful. And this is more complicated than I was expecting, but... Okay, let's do this cell, because this is naked. It sees 1, 5, 3, 7 in the column, 8, 9 in the row, and 2, 4 in the box. We'll do that. I have worked out that one of those is a 2, and that can disambiguate these, but I'm not going to explain that, because this is simpler. That's a 6, that's a 5, that's a 9. Now we've got a 5, 8 pair here, and we can add up the box. The total of the box is 45. It's a secret you might have heard. Those add up to 17 and those to 19 by the cage total. That's 36. These add up to 9, and they're a 3, 6 pair. And that is going to sort everything out. We get another 3 in the corner. We've got the maximum number in this puzzle. And that's a 1. That's a 9. That's a 1. That's a 2. That's a 7. It's all pretty straightforward at this point. Hurrah! 6 and 3 are done there. That 2, 6 pair is done. That 7, 6 pair is done. That 7, 8 pair is done. This 5, 8 pair is not done. This digit is done. It's a 9. And that's part of a 5, 8 pair there. Oh, how are these deadly pattern going to be resolved? It must be in this somehow. That's very surprising. And we're not there yet. 2, 4, that's a naked 4. That doesn't affect this cell, but it does affect this one. Now this one actually has to be a 4, so there are 2 4s in this cage. And that's a 3, 6 pair. 1, 2, 5, that's a naked 2. This is a 1, 5 pair that I can write in. And look, we are going to have to use that cage rule. Even though we didn't get a total for this cage, we're not allowed to repeat a digit in the purple. So that's 8, and that's 5, and that's 8, and that's 5. And we resolve our last 6, 9 pair. And that's the solution. What a clever puzzle by Rockrat Zero. Great fun all the way through. Excellent stuff. I really enjoyed that. Let's get rid of the green so we can see the shaded areas in all of their glory. Brilliant. Shima Uteki. I enjoyed that. Thank you, as always, for watching us on the channel, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.